Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, August 12th. There's one thing that I gotta do every morning, every time that I wake up, right? My routine, if I were to say, if I were to be so specific of this, what gets you out of the bed, what gets you during the day, how you start your day, and how you go about your day. For me, it all depends on one thing. If I do this in the morning, and if I forget about it or I don't have time to do it, I'm off the entire day. And normally that's my bathroom routine in the morning. Wake up, got to go to the bathroom. Every time I wake up, I got to go to the bathroom, right? It doesn't matter if I went before I went to bed, if I went shortly before, I woke up in the middle of the night and went. If I always wake up, about to get the day started, you got to go to the bathroom. I got to do it. I just got to relieve myself and get on with the day. So that's always number one. Number two, you got to shower. Freshen up. Look presentable, even though if you don't feel all that dirty. Some people like to shower at night and then wake up and just start their day. No, not me. No, I can't do that. I just can't. I've tried a couple times, but it just doesn't feel right. No, I gotta wake up, go to the bathroom, and shower. And take a good shower, you know what I mean? Like, no funny business. Now, every shower that I do take is no funny business. It's always serious, because you want to be fresh, you want to be clean. And I don't know about you guys, anybody listening to this, but I love that feeling. That feeling is so good. When you get out of the hot shower, and you feel fresh, you feel nice and warm, and depending on what time of year it is, maybe it's a winter. The house is a little chilly, or maybe it's not as warm as you would like it to be. You blast that shower, make it super steaming, searing hot. You get in, you take a nice hot shower, and then you come out of it, and it's all nice and cool outside. And sometimes when I was a kid, I remember I would want to stay in the shower because it would be so cold outside. From the temperature of the water to, getting out of the shower to be a drastic change. But as an adult, in some ways, it also kind of wakes you up. Like, all right, time to go. Let's get out of here. Get a little bit of a cold flash from the air outside. It's amazing. But anyway, you always got to take a good, thorough shower. And I always have been, showering up. I always shampoo every day, too. I always shampoo. I enjoy the feeling of my hair out of the shower when I feel nice and clean. And it doesn't feel like, disgusting. Because I remember when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to try to hold out on showers for some freaking reason. I would never want to shower because I just felt like it was just a waste of time. I could be watching a movie, playing video games, playing with my friends. I just lather on some deodorant, maybe some Axe body spray, and that's it. I would go, boom, that's it. Now I know that first of all, I'm an adult. And I assume most of you are adults. And that when you become an adult, you don't smell good anymore. Naturally. You just don't. That's why we have cologne, why we have perfumes and deodorants and, aftershave and hair gel and hairspray. We actually smell very bad. And we need those things to make up for that. Because imagine this. Imagine we had no cologne, no shampoo, no deodorant. Right? You would naturally, as time would pass on, you would smell throughout the day. Maybe you're not actually physical activity. Maybe you're not exercising really. Maybe you're just your office job, right? There's still a little bit of a buildup of stench going on there. And, not to be, selling people out, but sometimes you run across somebody who did not put on deodorant. And then you're just like, oh my God, he's walking around like this? He doesn't know what's happening. He can't smell himself. That's when you know it's bad. It's bad when they cannot smell themselves. Because they're literally walking around with that smell in their nostrils. That it just seems normal. Sort of like bad breath. You walk around with some bad breath, and you get used to it, and you're like, okay, whatever, this is just how I smell. No, brother. You smell really bad. That's why I think that it's so important. And I just don't understand First of all, like, let me just take it back a little bit more. Like I said, I love washing my hair. Washing, conditioning, not at the same separate times. I'm a 2-for-1 guy, meaning I got a shampoo that has shampoo and conditioner. Now, some people might look at me and be like, "Oh, that's so tacky, or that's so amateur, or that's so immature." But I like it. It gets the job done pretty quickly. You don't gotta wait for the wash out the shampoo, then reapply conditioner, wait for that, and you just it takes a while. So I might not be the most lengthy shower guy. I understand that, but I still do it, and I think I do a pretty good job. And I remember people would be saying, like, to me, to my sister even heard about this, like, you letting your hair bathe and soak in the oil of your scalp is good for you. I just never could wrap around my mind around that. Like, why would anybody want that, though? Like, have you ran your fingers or scratched your hair when you haven't showered in like a day? It doesn't feel good. And I have black hair, so like that's gonna get shiny as like a bowling ball, like a black bowling ball that's been like just greased up or polished. Imagine that. Imagine my hair, just glistening out of, from grease. Like, you might not know that, but I know it. And I'm walking around and I'm thinking, like, people are gonna notice that my hair is not washed. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just get a big, like, I can't afford anybody to see me like this. For one, I feel gross. And number two, everybody else is going to be like, why is his hair so shiny? Now, I know some people, don't wash their hair a lot. Maybe they wear a lot of hats. Maybe they, I don't know what they do. Maybe what's their routine is, like, they wait a day to, not wash their hair. They shower, but they keep their hair, like, wrapped up, and it's just... For me, the hair is also part of the body, and I gotta wash that. I can't collectively feel clean if my head ain't clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've always been a big, like, no, I can't do that. Maybe it's because I've, it's just my how I think and, like, how I roll about being clean and all that, being presentable. Like, it's just, like, not even a thing that I could possibly do. Number one, I hate the feeling. Number two, I don't want anybody staring at my hair being like, it's so shiny, I can see myself in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I could do it. And believe me, there's been times in my life, right, where I've been, like, so lazy. Like, I'd be like, do I want to shower today? Like, when you're like, really, really, really lazy. Like, there's just, like, maybe you get a weekend off, you have a lot of spare time on your hands, you just don't want to do anything. Right? You take a nap, you sleep around. Maybe you make yourself a frozen burrito. Like, you're on the verge of being, like, a burden to society. Like, when you're this lazy, right? You know what I'm saying? And along that path and along that journey, you just don't shower. And then, you don't like the feeling, but you don't want to shower. You go one day. The thing, the most I've gone is, like, maybe 2.5 days. I mean, again, this is when I was a kid. When I was very, very young. I haven't done it in a while. Like, again, I haven't done it in a long, long, long time. But I'm just saying, you remember that feeling. And even though, like, again, you don't gotta do nothing. You don't freshen up. You don't put on deodorant. You don't put on cologne. You don't gotta go anywhere. Nobody's around you. You're just gonna be at your house, doing God knows what. Video games, TV, sports. And then you just, you build up a stench. And then after a while, you can, like, you go to the bathroom and then, like, oh, I haven't even gone to the bathroom yet. I stink. Like, I smell. Like, I got to shower now. And then that's the point, and you're like, okay, well, let's just shower right now. I feel disgusting. I feel gross. I don't like this feeling anymore. That's kind of like how I felt with the hair. And the hair thing is also one of the big things that you can tell, like, right away, like, I need to wash this now. So I don't know how people do it. You guys must some kind of have, like, maybe use, like, a dry shampoo. Maybe use, like, I don't know what you do or how you keep going, but I can't do it. I mean, this person must be so, like, obsessed with their hair, like, how it's going to look in the future. Like, you got to make sure you make your hair natural and all that. I mean, like it's already on my hair, at my head, right? It's already natural as it can be. Not like I got fake hair, or got like a toupee or something like that. It's pretty natural. Like it's I can touch it. It's there. Like, you know, I'm not gonna go back to caveman like living to, you know, be natural, right? Like that's just not what I'm gonna do. And then it kind of goes to like this thing I've been looking at this past week and maybe even the week before. I forgot to talk about this then, but I'm just gonna bring it up now because I thought it was so, you know, it just feels like it doesn't make any sense. It seems fake, but at the end of the day, it could be very well true. And it's this whole thing with celebrities and their bathing habits and how they, you know, whether they take a bath, take a shower, and how they cleanse themselves, what is their personal hygiene like? You know, do they shower every day like I do? Maybe every other day? Do they wash their hair every day? Like, what's their, you know, their personal hygiene like? The routine. I stumbled across, you know, if you just Google like celebrity bathing habits, I came across this one article that was already, you know, it's already got me. It's got a few celebrities that have commented on how they bathe and how they take care of themselves, you know, hygiene wise. And I just wanted to read to you a couple of these celebrities that you might have stumbled across, like maybe in a film, a TV show, maybe a musical artist, what their thoughts are on showering and bathing, something that me and you do like pretty much every day. At least make sure that you smell good and that you're not dirty. You know, basic things that you're taught as a kid, like you don't want to smell or stink or you know, cause a distraction like with your stench or make people uncomfortable. Like, I was always taught, like, how are you going to show up to your first job? How are you going to show up to your first job interview? You going to stink or are you going to smell good? So let's just run through some of these celebrities and what they've said about their hygiene. I thought it was very, very interesting. We got number one, Jake Gyllenhaal. Big fan. I enjoy his movies. I think he's a very good actor. I love this guy. His bathing habits, though? I don't know about that. See, in an interview with Vanity Fair, Gyllenhaal revealed that good manners and bad breath get you nowhere. So I do that. But I do also think that there's a whole world of not bathing that is also really helpful for skin maintenance. And we naturally clean ourselves. Interesting. Now I'm thinking about that, like naturally clean ourselves. What does that mean, Jake? I don't know what that means. Like naturally, like, I mean, I take soap and water, and yeah, soap is kind of like man-made, but water, and I rub myself with, you know, a sponge, a washcloth, a loofah, you know, anything. I mean, right? Those new fancy gloves that are like a towel, and I clean myself. So that's like a natural. I'm not going through like a machine, like a damn car wash, and getting sprayed with like a bunch of chemicals and all that I don't even know of, like bleach and all that. I don't know what's in the car wash, but I'm just assuming. But I'm not using like super artificial like, you know, chemicals. I'm pretty sure that what I'm doing is natural, as you say. But I don't know about that. Naturally clean ourselves. He didn't go into detail, but I feel like, I mean, what do you think you are? You gonna lick your hands like a cat? Are you gonna lick your legs like a cat? Are you gonna lick the nether region like a cat? Is that what you mean by natural? I have no idea what you mean by that. So maybe a little bit more specific on what you're saying by natural, Jake. Let's move on. Who else was interesting? I mean, like, there's a lot. I mean, like, Brad Pitt is one of them too. Brad Pitt, I mean, like, one of the most gorgeous people in Hollywood. What has he got to say about this? So, in an interview with People, Eli Roth revealed that Brad Pitt told him he didn't have to shower. He didn't have time to shower, Pitt said. I got 6 kids. All you got to do is take wipes, a couple quick wipes under the pits. Man, I'm getting peed on all day. I don't have time to take a shower. What? You're taking wipes and applying them to your pits? Those aren't for cleaning pits, bro. Those are for cleaning ass. Or hands, like, depending on what kind of wipes you're talking about. So it's just called the wipes. So I'm thinking it's got to be like baby wipes or something like that. First of all, those are for babies, and then just like you just take them to your pits and then you go. So bizarre. Brad Pitt of all people. So when you go to the Oscars and you want to hug Brad Pitt, maybe you gotta make it, say this guy's gonna stink, man. I just know it. I can smell from the other room. This guy stinks. And this, I just can't imagine that Brad Pitt wouldn't shower every day. I mean, as gorgeous as this man looks, if this is true, which again, this could be fake. This could be just a troll on the media. This could be. It's just disgusting. Come on, man. We got to be better with our hygiene. Kristen Bell. Voice of, what's her damn name? Elsa in the Frozen movies 1 and 2. She's also part of this. In an interview with The View, Bell revealed that she and Dax Shepard wait for the stink before washing their children. Wait for the stink? What is this? You're just waiting for them to be unbearable, then you wash them? And what is, it's not explained in this little snippet of what she said, but what is the washing to you? Do you actually use soap, or do you just, put them in a river? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. So, if if I was a father, I would wash my kid every day. Because every day, he's going to poop. And he's going to pee. And he's just going to smell. So every day I'm going to tell him to shower him, bathe him, wash him, whatever you want to say. I'm going to do it because I don't want him to smell. If you're going to wait for your kid to smell, that is just teaching a bad habit of walking around and smelling bad. Dax Shepard, I know you have a good podcast or a big podcast. I haven't listened to it ever. Maybe you should read up on hygiene, especially for your kids. It looks like. I don't know. I'm just saying. Kind of a weird way to clean your kid. Wait for them to really rot, and smell. Even if you do that, you wait long enough. What is long enough? How many days do you go? Again, a kid is, I don't know the ages, but I'm assuming like they play a lot, they go outside a lot, they, I don't know, maybe have mistakes, accidents. I sure know I did when I was a kid. Everybody does. So again, this seems like a troll. Like it can't be real. All right. Like it feels like it can't. Let's move on though. In an interview with an armchair expert, again, Dax Shepard's podcast, Mila Kunis revealed that she didn't grow up with hot water and didn't shower much. What does that have to do with anything? Okay, you grew up in like a very bad spot. Not a lot of money, maybe not a lot of appliances. And now, I'm assuming that she was. I remember her saying, like her and Ashton Kutcher said that they don't shower or bathe frequently. So I don't understand like what this whole thing is, like this whole shtick of, well, I didn't grow up with it, now I don't need to use it. But like, in what world is that actually smart? You have the appliances, you have a shower, a bathtub, soap and water. Use it. I don't understand. Like, what is preventing you from not wanting to shower every day? Oh, I grew up not showering. I'm not going to shower now. What is that? It just makes no sense. Like, you worked hard to get out of your bad situation. Like, as a kid, like maybe, I don't know, maybe you got this dream job. You put your mind to it. You worked hard. You're a hard worker and all that. And now you're like, well, I didn't grow up with it. I don't need it. That's a luxury that you should want, though. Showering is unbelievably great. It just is. Everybody showers. I don't know. Again, this could be a troll, though. Let's keep going. Ashton Kutcher, again, he's also part of that. He doesn't want to. Now, here's the thing. This is a quote. Now, here's the thing. If you can see the dirt on them, clean them. Otherwise, there's no point. See the dirt. Ashton Kutcher. What on earth? You don't know how much dirt there is that you cannot see. It's there. It's going to build up on your arms, your legs, your feet, whatever. And when you wash it off, it's you just feel cleaner. You know that saying, squeaky clean? It's real. It feels that good. So, you know what I have a problem with? The people who are saying these things. I don't trust the behind their ears. I don't trust them. Because growing up, I never really washed behind my ears. As a kid, I never did. It was until I was 14 years old. It kind of itched my ear, and I just felt like a layer of oil. I was like, oh my God. No, wait, 14, 15, around that time. I was like, oh my God. Like, this is like, it's like grease. And then after that, I was just like washing behind my ears all the time. Because that is like one of the bigger points where bacteria and oil and dirt just build up. It's like, it just feels gross. So like Ashton Kutcher saying, like, if you can't see the dirt, you don't got to clean it. That's not true, man. Again, this could be a big troll. I don't know. Okay, so now in an interview with Extra, Robert Pattinson revealed that he probably has gone 6 weeks without washing his hair. I don't know. I don't really see the point in washing your hair. Why not? Why? Like, honestly, what is, if there's no point, then why don't you do it? Like, what is your no point? Do you like the way it looks, it feels? Do you like the way that there's got to be a reason that you don't wash your hair other than just like there's no point. What does that even mean, Robert? I'm just confused on what you mean by that. Because I would like to know, like, if there's got to be a reason why you don't wash your hair. Is it just that you're lazy, that you like to style it that way? Do you just like to, like the feel of it greasy? There's got to be a reason that you're not washing your hair. I mean, like, if there really is no point, there's got to be a point for that no point. I feel like there's got to be that. Okay, now, Taylor Swift, oh my God. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere super popular. In an interview with Ellen, Swift revealed that she doesn't actively wash her legs in the shower because she shaves them. What does that even mean? What does that mean? You shave them and then that's not washing, though, man. That isn't washing. That's not... I mean, like... I don't understand. The razor is not a sponge or a towel. It doesn't really... it's not meant for cleaning dirt. It's meant for shaving. The towel is for washing and getting in there. You got like pores all over your body, right? That exfoliate, I don't know if that's the right term, but ooze out oil and dirt and grease, and you also sweat down there. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but legs do sweat. You got to keep the body cool. And you also perform a lot. I would assume that you would at least break a sweat. You're on stage training and practicing and rehearsing. I'm assuming that you've sweat before in your life, Taylor. Shaving does not wash your legs. I know that people lather them with soap, I'm sure, to shave them, because I don't think that, I don't think women use shaving cream like that in the shower to wash their legs. I don't think that they do. I'm assuming that they use soap. But if you're just applying the soap there and not using it to like wash it or rub it, wash it, sponge it, towel it, whatever, it's not really doing anything. You can't just put the shampoo in your hair and then just wash it out. You got to rub it in and massage the scalp and scrub it and all that. You got to do all that to, clean yourself. So these guys are on this high podium. They got their platforms, and they don't even know how to shower properly. Let's continue. Zac Efron. Okay, first of all, I mean, I grew up with Zac Efron. I mean, I watched High School Musical when I was a kid. I knew this guy for the longest time, I think. This guy. All right, so a source said that the High School Musical revealed that Efron allegedly doesn't care for showering, even though he leads a very active lifestyle. What the hell, dude? What the hell? I mean, like, you have your show. I thought you had, like, a show where you traveled around the world in jungles and all that stuff. And now you don't shower. What is going on? You, of all people, you're a rising star of an actor, a host, a personality, a celebrity, and you don't shower ever? What if you work up a sweat? You just stay in that? Have you ever been sticky, Zach? Have you ever been sticky? If you don't shower, what do? You like Brad Pitt with wipes? Just wipe your whole body down? What do? I'm curious. I really am. Because they've never said any of these people, really, I mean, like a couple maybe, but not really what they do, though. They just don't do anything. So they got to be the most laziest people of all time. They act for a living, sing, lots of talent, but they just don't want to shower. They're so busy, they can't shower. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's move on. Charlize Theron. I love her so much. This is going to kill me. In an interview with David Letterman, Theron revealed that she'd be fine without going a week without showering. She'd be fine with going a week without showering. Really? Why? Again, all these pieces of, sound bites and quotes from talk shows, podcasts, articles and Variety and all that. Vanity Fair. These don't seem real. They don't seem real. They just seem like they want to cause a storm. And, want to make it so that they're not like us. Oh, we're celebrities. We don't got to shower. We're on a high peak. What is showering? It's like they don't want to do what us peasants do. We shower. I shower every day. Wash my hair every day. A couple times when I'm lazy, I don't do it because I'm lazy. But are you really lazy for an entire week? You're an actor, singer-songwriter, podcast host. You've got to be presentable. You can't be that lazy. I don't think you can be. You're on movie sets. You're acting, promoting. How can you be that lazy to not shower or go a week without it? There's got to be more to that than what I'm reading on the surface. There's just got to be more to it. But they don't say anything. They just said, I can do it without a week. No problem. No problem. I don't got to shower. I mean, and now for the final one. All right, number 1, Johnny Depp. According to a source, Depp usually smells because he rarely showers. He isn't big on personal cleanliness. Personal hygiene is not his priority. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of evidence here. Somebody said that he smells. The source says that he smells, that he stinks. Maybe this has got to be one of the first ones that you hear that somebody said that, oh yeah, this guy actually kind of smells. This guy actually might not shower. Other people, possibility, right? They can possibly be lying about this and getting clickbait, or just getting some attention, or getting somebody to talk about them, or getting some thing in the news because they're bored. That could be a possibility. But this guy, if the source is being truthful, that he actually smells, then maybe this guy actually does have a little bit of a hygiene problem. Again, it said that his hygiene is not his priority. But why, though? I want to know why. I really, really do. Do they really just think that they're so elite and above me, right, me, that they don't have to shower? They see all these normal people got showers in their places. It takes up all the space. The water bill is off the chain. I don't want that. I don't want to have a reason to shower. Take it out of my house. I don't want to spend the money on water. I'm Johnny Depp. I'm in movies. I don't shower. I'm Johnny Depp. I'm Jack Sparrow. I shower in the sea. I don't need a shower. I'm Johnny Depp. Take a bath, please. Jack Sparrow, go jump in the sea and take a bath. These people need to take a bath. It's really weird when you read this, because it's either way, they're sick. They're just doing this for either attention, or they actually don't believe this. Either way, they lose. In the eyes of normalcy and people like me who shower, I'm a little offended. And I usually don't get offended, but I'm a little offended. This might break me. Please, just take a bath. Just take a bath. You'll feel good. I mean, do you really like being smelly? If so that, at least spray yourself with something. We got, cologne out there. I'm sure one of you guys endorses a cologne, a perfume, a fragrance. If we don't want to be, if those names, if you don't like cologne or perfume, fragrance, spray, aftershave, body wash, not body wash, body scent, I don't know. Maybe you can just hang a a pine tree behind your ass. Maybe that'll work. Maybe you can just, sip on mouthwash all day and just spit it out. No, don't drink it, though. Don't drink it. But, have some mouthwash in there and just every day. That's another thing. These motherfuckers all better brush their teeth. They better. Because feeling dirty on your body is bad. Feeling dirty in your teeth and your mouth is even worse. It's even worse. And that's why you're supposed to brush your teeth twice a day. Before and after sleep. Once you wake up, brush your teeth. Before you go to bed, brush your teeth. Hygiene is very important. We don't got to live like cavemen anymore. Right? If you're wearing clothes, if you're wearing shoes, you clearly care about not being dirty on your feet or just going outside bare naked and getting dirty. You're wearing clothes, right? I mean, unless it's just for pure fashion and pure expression. Like, I'm not going to go hike barefoot with nothing on. I'm going to wear boots, some thick-ass socks, maybe some pants, a long-sleeve shirt, and try not to get as dirty as possible. Right? Then I'm going to go home, take everything off, go to the bathroom, and then hop in that shower. And then be a new man when I get out of there, because there's nothing better to me than getting out of that hot shower and feeling as clean as you can possibly be. Get all that natural fucking oil off. Get all that dirt off. Get all that grime off. All that oil off. Sunscreen. What if you go out to the beach and put on some sunscreen, Johnny Depp? You gonna keep that on you? You gonna let all that soak in? And just, what do you do about your face? Do you wash your face at least? Do you use any cream to exfoliate your pores and get all that oil out? You are a celebrity, right? And what if you get dunked in a pool? You're like, oh shit, all the dirt I was working on, waste. It's gone. Fuck. It's like I almost kind of did shower in a way. Like, what if you go swimming? You're like, chlorine. It's like my natural fragrance. Is that what happens? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Again, either way, if this is a troll, shame on you. If it's not a troll, again, shame on you. Take a bath. Just take a bath. Let's move on, everybody. Let's go into this week was a big week for me in movies. I got around to seeing Jungle Cruise at the movie theater, and then I got a chance to check out The Suicide Squad twice on HBO Max. Whether that's a good thing or not, we'll discuss. But first, I'm going to talk about Jungle Cruise and review that movie because I thought that it was, if you don't know about this, Jungle Cruise is the newest Disney movie that is adapted from one of their classic rides, Jungle Cruise, at Disneyland. And the movie stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, and a couple of other characters or actors. I'm blanking on their names right now, but those are the main two. Those are the selling points of the movie for me, in my opinion. Everybody else who's in it does a great job at their character. Jesse Plemons is also in it, if you know him from Breaking Bad or other things like that. The Irishman, he's in that. But it's a very good, entertaining movie, and I gotta say that it harkens back to a little bit of the old school adapted Pirates of the Caribbean movies, if you remember those. Those were also adapted from the ride, but obviously they made it up a new story, new characters, and a villain and all that. Not necessarily anything like the ride before those movies. Nowadays, you go to the ride that is more adapted to those movies and the characters. I know Jack Sparrow's in it. I think they had Davy Jones in that ride and all that. When they finally put that in, they might have had Barbossa. Maybe. I know they have like a set piece where they have like Jack Sparrow in the cell with the dog trying to get the key from the dog. That's also in that ride. So again, they did that with Jungle Cruise. I'm not sure about that. It is an outdoor ride, so they might do it. They might not. I don't know. It might take a while for them to do that. But again, let's go back to the movie. Again, awesome movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie with a lot of adventure, a lot of comedy. Again, great chemistry from Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson. The story is also really fun. The movie actually looks like really good. Like the production value and design of like the jungle, the cruise, the port that they're at, the locations that they travel to in the Amazon jungle look really, really good. I gotta say, Like, it didn't look half-ass, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they definitely looked like they took a page out of, what Pirates of the Caribbean looked like, how it looked, how real it looked, how, the costumes were good, the locations looked great, the set pieces were cool. The sailing on the sea looked amazing. Again, in this movie, the sailing on the river in the Amazon also looked very, very good. Like, it looks great. The movie looked amazing. And then it just, it has like the blend. I would always say, like, if you remember The Mummy back in 1999 with Brendan Fraser, that Mummy movie, the mystery, the the adventure as well, the characters, I would have to say that the characters especially are very, very influenced by the characters in The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. I mean, The Rock is absolutely, his character is just Brendan Fraser. Emily Blunt's character in this movie is just like Rachel Weisz's character, and then the brother is just like the brother in The Mummy from Jungle Cruise. Like, those, like, the three main people, right? Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, and then the actor who portrayed her brother. Let me look that up real quick because it's very unprofessional of me. Hold on. He stole the show in a lot of parts because he was super funny, and it reminded me of just like that character, who was in The Mummy. It was really cool. Like, again, it harkened a lot about The Mummy, very similar to The Mummy, but not, a carbon copy, obviously. Let me see. What's his name? No, that's not him. Jack Whitehall is the actor who played McGregor in the movie, which is Emily Blunt's brother in the movie. Again, that the trio of those characters is just spot on, just like in The Mummy back in the day with Rick, Evie, and Jonathan. It's very similar in that way. Like, I immediately got that feeling of that movie from this movie. I just got that feeling. Not saying it's a bad thing at all. I love The Mummy, and I love this movie for that too. But that's a very strong point of it. That's a very strong point, and I believe that was also one of the, only, like, I mean, I'm not saying that the story was bad. It wasn't bad, but it just, I don't think it is as good as Pirates of the Caribbean story or the Mummy story, just because I thought it was a little generic in a way, I guess you could say. It didn't really, like, do anything different, like, new for me, which is fine. I mean, it's very much a kid's movie, I would say. It definitely isn't, like, for adults, even though it is PG-13. It's not meant for adults. Again, there's a lot of good chemistry with the characters, a lot of good fun. It's a really fun time. Again, like, I think a lot of people can watch this movie and have a good time. Like, a lot of families, a lot of friends, even adults, kids, they can all watch this movie and have an absolute fun time. It really is for, like the most commercial movie out there right now. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh, that's too bad, that's too scary for you, that's too adult for you. No, this is pretty much like the most commercial movie out there right now. Like, anybody can watch it. Like, I endorse that with a full 100% endorsement. That this is the movie for, like, pretty much anybody right now, and it's still in theaters, so you can go check it out. Or if you want to buy it on Disney Plus, you can. But I think that it really does blend that, because I feel like the action in this movie, this is why I think it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just like, how in the Pirates of the Caribbean, you have, like, big old action set pieces where they, like, climb on the ship, sword fighting, they jump down, all synchronized and all choreographed and all that, and they do the more fighting, and they jump through hoops and all that, jump through obstacles, kind of like that in a way, especially at the very beginning. It's very much like that. A lot of energy, a lot of good characters, a lot of good, like, it just doesn't seem to stop, really. So that's another positive. That's another good thing. That's, again, why you should see it in theaters. It's pretty awesome. I guess one of the downsides is, for me, is that it does kind of feel like a kiddie movie at some point. A lot of points, like, it just feels like it's got a little bit of like, they can't really go to, like, make the, what I say, they can't make the bad guy too bad or too scary, because it is for kids. So they kind of got to, like, let it be like, oh, I'm bad because I'm bad, and that's pretty much it. There's a little bit of a backstory in there. It's not like he's just bad because he's bad, but it's like, it could have gone a little bit further with that, but that might have made the movie a little bit too scary, a little bit too serious, and definitely not as much for kids as you think it would be. But it's, it does the job well. It still does it well. Again, surprisingly pretty funny, like, too. Like, it's Dwayne Johnson in the movie definitely just gets, like, a lot of, comedic bits in there that he just spouts off some jokes and, like, does some funny things. It's really funny in that way too. But I gotta say, again, with the pacing, though, like, in the sequences and all that, in the scenes, for me, some sequences dragged on quite a bit. I feel like it was kind of weird because this is not a spoiler. I swear to God, it's not a spoiler. But I feel like you know that they're going to go on to the Jungle Cruise to do their adventure. But for the build up to that, to get onto the cruise, to go on their adventure, I just felt like it was kind of dragging some parts on that. I'm like, all right, let's go to the adventure. Come on, let's go on the boat now. Let's not feel like fucking dilly-dally anymore. Let's go to the boat. But it just felt like it took forever to get to that point. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then a couple times in the middle of the movie where it's like, okay, the bad guy's this, the bad guy's that. There's also a couple of other plots that kind of twist and turn in there, and it's like kind of like it gets a little bit complicated, but not like, super complicated, but it just feels like it's just dragging. Just kind of dragging along a bit. It's like that was kind of another gripe that I had, like, all right, let's move it along. Come on, let's go. The movie's like 2 hours and 12 minutes, so it's like it's not like, a super long movie. 2 hours and 7 minutes, my bad. But it's not like going to be like it's a decent-sized movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was too long overall. Some parts definitely just dragged a bit. But you can kind of tell that they had to build some emotion with the characters, a little bit of backstory with, Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, and then their brother as well. And then the scenery is cool and all that. You kind of get a little bit of a, what is up with the Jungle Cruise and all that? What is up with Dwayne and all that? It's interesting. It's fun. But overall, I thought it was, very, very enjoyable. I thought it was really good. Again, very commercial. Everybody can watch this and be like, oh, that was fun. I think if you do watch it, you might walk out like, oh, that was more fun than I thought that it would be. Because the marketing for me was decent. It was fine. It was like, yeah, I'm going to watch that. It looks freaking cool. It looks like The Mummy. So, all in all, a good movie. I thought it was very solid. Again, very family-friendly. Action, comedy, adventure. Very good movie. A decent movie. So I gave it, if you saw me tweet about it, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10, and I thought it was really good. My brother and sister saw it too, and we all liked it. I thought it was pretty solid, good movie. Lots of blends from other movies, like I said, The Mummy, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a good blend. It's nice. It's an adventure. It doesn't feel super rehashed or redone story. It does feel original at most points. It doesn't feel like a retread. And also, like, Jungle Cruise, like at Disneyland at least, is not a very popular ride that I see a lot of people talk about. Like, I've never even personally been on that ride. So I would be curious if they're going to update it with the movie or, put some merchandise from that movie there or do anything with that. That could be interesting in the future. But I feel like having never been on that ride and not knowing anything about the Jungle Cruise, watching it for the first time was like, this is sick. This is really cool still. Even though it's not like, the best movie ever, I still enjoyed it quite a bit. It definitely is a big movie. Like, there's explosions, big action pieces, set pieces and all that, a lot of characters, a lot of stunts done. It's a good, big budget action adventure comedy movie. And I would recommend you see it. I think you would like it. I think if you have kids, take them. They'd enjoy it. And yeah, go check it out if you want. But yeah, that's Jungle Cruise review. 7.5 out of 10. Now let's move on a bit. Now we're going to segue into a movie that I was, again, if you listened to the last podcast, I wasn't really excited about it because of, James Gunn, Guardians 2. Again, we're going to talk about the Suicide Squad. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. You got no worries about this. I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen it. Although I think a lot of people have seen it because it is being released in theaters along with HBO Max. So let's dive into it. Again, like I said previously, I didn't know too much about how this movie would do. Having loved Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and not liking Guardians of the Galaxy 2 at all, I was a bit skeptical. I wasn't sure. I didn't think that he had it in him to make a Suicide Squad movie, having there already been one directed by David Ayer, done in 2016. I did not think that there would have been another one that would, what are you going to do to surprise me this time? What are you going to do? I just don't know, because, again, whether you liked it or not, and the first Suicide Squad movie, again, back in, 2016, whether you liked it or not, they already had a movie about that. The same story, again, you got certain characters from that movie appearing in this movie, hence Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller, Rick Flag. So, you got characters already in that movie coming in this movie. what more could they do for you to, buy into this one? What more could they do to make it different? What more could they do for you to even to get people to go see it? I mean, again, we've already seen Suicide Squad done before, with respect, of my opinion in a bad way. But again, some people did like it. But, what's going to happen? What has James Gunn got to offer? What is he going to do, having the whole scenario, the whole situation of him, what was it? He was fired and then rehired from at Disney for tweets in his past. Is Warner Brothers going to let him do like whatever he wants? Are they going to be like, okay, you can push the boundaries, you can make it R-rated? Again, I've never seen any James Gunn films aside from his Guardians and his Suicide Squad, so this is kind of new for me. I'm still fresh on James Gunn. So having said all that, without a doubt, James Gunn's Suicide Squad is definitely one of my favorite movies of this year. It really is. I think it's got a perfect blend of comedy, action, great characters, a lot of, it's got a lot of heart in it, got a lot of soul, sadness. It absolutely has a ton of madness. I mean, this movie's got it all. And it overflows with personality and originality. I never thought that this guy, James Gunn, could make another Suicide Squad that would absolutely wash out the bad taste of the 2016 Suicide Squad and just absolutely make me love this group of characters and this world that they built, because I absolutely, again, that I said, I love it. I loved it. I really loved it. I thought that he did a great job. I thought that the movie itself, at first, it just hits you with all these punches of what happens in the movie. It just hits you with punches, and it doesn't hold back. It just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And you don't really know what's going to happen, which is the beauty of like what this movie is. Because once you watch the beginning of the movie, then you're like, okay, well, what's going to happen next? How does this even end? Or what's going to go on with these characters? So I feel like with this movie, being R-rated and being like what I like to call James Gunn Unleashed, aside from like Guardians being PG-13, I would have to assume, just think that Marvel Studios has got to be considering to make Guardians 3 rated R, because I absolutely loved R-rated James Gunn. Loved him. I mean, there's some things in Guardians that you can absolutely tell that he wants to make R-rated. Like, he just wants, if they could make it R-rated, it would be so much funnier and better and more, give it some pop to it. But for the sake of Disney and being, a Marvel property, they're not going to do that. But, who knows? Who knows? All I'm saying is I just want, now after seeing this, I want rated R Guardians 3. I really, really do. But again, like, what can I say? This guy nailed it. James Gunn absolutely nailed it. You can tell that Warner Brothers was like, go all in, go insane, do whatever you got to do, and we'll be behind you. Because, you know what? I think he took it personal. I think that he took his firing from Disney personal with this movie. Like, he's saying, like, okay, you can fire me, but again, they rehired him. He's going to do Guardians 3. He's like, let me show you what I can really do. Let me roll up my sleeves, and I'm going to show you what I can do with a film. With a film, again, that had a movie that a lot of people didn't like in Suicide Squad, I'm going to make that better. I'm going to make people like the Suicide Squad even more than they thought they could. And he did it. Let's move on to the actual review. Again, the movie throws all the punches at the beginning, doesn't hold back, the pace is impeccable, and you don't really know what's happening. And with something that's so hard to pull off, because, again, we did have a Suicide Squad movie before, that, again, could be predictable. One of these movies should be very, very predictable, but it wasn't. Nobody knew what was happening, and it was only because James Gunn knew how to deliver a good script, a good story, good characters, good set pieces, good action, good comedy, good heart, good soul, everything he did in this movie. Again, it might be like I'm selling it over the top, but again, I just absolutely loved this movie. I loved it. It was a breath of fresh air. It was something I haven't seen, in a way, in a long time. At times, it kind of felt like it was like a Tarantino film. It was like a gangster, not a gangster, but it was just like a typical superhero mixed with a little bit of like the violence and the carnage that you would see like in a Tarantino movie. It was amazing. The way they blocked up the movie, like in chapters in a way. It's not really a spoiler, but it's like there's kind of like these little like title cards that kind of pop up on the screen that lets you know like what the title or the chapter of the movie is. I kind of guess it's really cool. I liked it a lot. It was really fun. And I guess the selling point of the movie is just, besides James Gunn, is the characters. I mean, they're all different. They're all very distinctive. They're not the same characters that you saw before. I mean, they're all different. They're all fun. They're all fun to root for. There's a lot of characters, again, that they make you laugh. The jokes in the movie, again, Marvel, make Guardians 3R, because these jokes were absolutely funny. They were none of them were bad, really. None of them were, in my opinion, none of them were really that bad, like, at all. They were all very, very funny, which is why I'm saying, like, you go from a PG-13 Guardians 2 with terrible jokes, making everybody funny just for, to make them funny. It might have been Disney's fault, not James Gunn, but, like, who knows? But if you make it rated R, you have so much more freedom, and you can add more personality, more carnage, more violence, and more, it just, having seen this, I mean, like, I just loved it. Everything about it was just great, because, for one, it was rated R, and that it was James Gunn, and that he knew what he was doing with these characters and this story and how to make a good movie, make it kind of relatable, right? Rootable characters, likable characters, and just having a good time. I had such a blast with this movie. I turned off my brain. You had so much fun with it. And it is just a breath of fresh air, because I didn't think that this could have been possible with a Suicide Squad-like movie. I just didn't think that it would be possible. But, that's just my review, though. Don't take it as the wholehearted thing. I'm sure other people have some problems with it. I know. And this movie, for me, I score it a 9.2 out of 10. Very, very high. I understand that, but I just had a lot of good time with it. A lot of fun time with it. Now, I will say there is one gripe that I had with the movie that I will say it isn't. I'm not going to spoil it, but I think that the character of Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, at some points kind of feels like it's like a character you already kind of know the story of. It doesn't really feel like it's changed a bit. Just that, though. Like, a little bit of his origin is a little bit, repetitive and a little bit done before, but it just, I don't know, it feels like it's just, that was like one little glare. Again, not much at all, but it was just tiny little thing that it just didn't make it perfect for me. But that's it, though. Everything else was great. I mean, he is fantastic in the movie. It's just the character origin is just a little too on the nose for me. Other than that, it's very funny. He's great. John Cena's great. Sylvester Stallone is great as King Shark. Danawe, the best. Ratcatcher 2, unbelievable. Polka Dot Man, amazing. I mean, like, this movie is just amazing. For me, I absolutely loved it, and I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I'm not going to apologize for it. I love the movie. I watched it with some friends. They all very much enjoyed it too. Probably not as much as I did, but I don't care about that. It's fine. You don't have to love it. But I did, and I'm going to talk about it, how much I loved it. So if you are, bored one day and you have HBO Max and you're thinking about watching the Suicide Squad, thinking about, oh, I remember the last one with Captain Boomerang and fucking Killer Croc and all that, and fucking Harley Quinn and Deadshot. I don't know if I don't want to watch that again. Shit. I guarantee you, this is not that same movie. It is nothing like it. It may have the same similar title, but it is nothing like it. It is not filled with Enchantress dancing. It is not filled with Jared Leto's Joker. It is not filled with, those might be spoilers, sorry, but but it is not filled. It is nothing like the 2016 Suicide Squad, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you check it out, preferably in theaters, because what I have been seeing and reading is that what we're seeing now with HBO Max, with all these bigger movies coming out, because we had a little bit of a drought from like March to now with movies, because after Godzilla vs. Kong came out, which was back in March, a couple small releases, not as big as I would say this one, but I could be wrong. But they have, their box office numbers are not looking good. They're not looking good. So, and this worries me. This really does, because I feel like what's going to happen is, again, one of the bigger movies that is coming out this year in theaters and in HBO Max, whose director has been very vocal about this, is Denis Villeneuve's Dune. And if, again, this movie doesn't perform, I could see them not continuing his story. I know we haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm just saying if this trend keeps continuing with just a lot of people watching on HBO Max not going out to see it, then we might not get a Dune sequel. And again, the director Denis Villeneuve has been very vocal about it, about like not putting it in putting it in both HBO Max and in theaters, that he's not for that because of that sole reason of not making enough money to make another one, because that's his plan to make another one, at least one, I think. So if you feel comfortable, try out the theater. I did for Jungle Cruise, and that was awesome. I wish I did it for Suicide Squad because that would have been even better. But yeah, even though, if you don't want to, it's still there on HBO Max for you. Take your time to watch it. Watch it with a friend, family, whatever you want to do. By yourself, whatever. I think you'll have a fun time with it. Maybe not for kids, especially for younger kids. But if you got a 17-year-old who's able to watch R-rated movies, maybe. And if you feel comfortable with it, maybe have him stick around. I don't know if he wants to. Again, whoever's a parent, you have the decision. You make that choice. But yeah, Suicide Squad, again, excellent movie. I loved it, and I rated it on Twitter. Fantastic movie. 9.2 out of 10. Let's finish off this episode with some sports. Yeah, we're back again, and I gave you a little bit of time before I brought in the sports section because, listen, man, I love sports. I'm not going to stop talking about them. I'm going to continue to talk about them because I love sports. All right, you're not going to stop me from talking about sports. I'll just put it to the end of the show. Whatever, it's fine with me. I don't got to, I won't lead off with the show with it unless it's super big, or if anybody asks me to do that, nicely, of course. But let's start talking about sports. And what happened last night or 2 nights ago on Tuesday night was, again, what I like to call the turning point in the off season. And I thought about this when I was watching it, and telling my brother, hey, whenever Hard Knocks comes out, whoever's on it, I feel like football, that is just the opening gate to walk to the line to get to the stadium of the NFL season. We are so close now. So close. And it feels so right to watch Hard Knocks with that music, watching the football teams get ready for the season, their training camps, the preseason games. Everything is getting ramped up, and I love it so much, and we're actually going to have a season now. Let's talk about Hard Knocks first. So if you don't know, this season is covering the Dallas Cowboys, right? America's team. Everybody wants to know what they're going to be doing this year. Me, personally, I thought was this is going to be a great season, or should be, because they had a lot of drama last year. Right, Dak Prescott went down with a bad ankle injury. Ezekiel Elliott couldn't catch or couldn't hold on to the ball that well. The team just felt in shambles. Mike McCarthy's first year, I believe, coaching the Dallas Cowboys, or at least one of them. Knowing him from being in Green Bay all those years, taking a year off and going to the Dallas Cowboys, seeing him as the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I still don't feel comfortable with that imagery. I just feel like he's just a Packer guy, or a Pittsburgh guy. Maybe go back to Pittsburgh. That's where he's from. And it just doesn't feel like a Dallas Cowboy guy. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't. I cannot get that image out of my head of him with the yellow and green Green Bay Packer hat on. Seeing him with a Dallas Cowboy star, for me, is still weird. Very, 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 very weird. But let's continue. Again, this year is going to be a lot of pressure on this team. Not only because of the Cowboys, and they got pressure every year, but I feel like, especially with the Hard Knocks and what has happened before, Dak signing that contract of, locking him in with that big old contract, and having Zeke there too, with also getting paid and getting his money. I feel like this season is going to be a big season for the Dallas Cowboys of what they got to do, how do they continue to do this, with who they have on their roster, and how they're going to perform. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Me, personally, after this first episode, I was absolutely kind of taken aback a bit with some of the drama that's been happening. I mean, clearly you can see that Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones might not be on the same page with each other. One of the big reasons was because Jerry Jones wanted Dak Prescott, who has a shoulder strain, to maybe play more, but Coach Martin McCarthy's like, we'll leave him out for a bit longer. He can't throw yet. I don't want to chance it. And then you got Dak being like, hey, bro, I want to fucking keep being the practicing. Let's keep going. I want to still be in there. I'm good. And they're like, nah, man, you're going to sit out for a bit because, again, we want to rest you. Want to make sure that you're good for the season. We don't want to break you accidentally. And we want to make sure because, again, you are the franchise quarterback. You got to be healthy. And that there's no way that he's going to be starting that first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game against the Steelers. So what happened was I thought that it was good. It was nice to see that because, again, if I was Mike McCarthy, there is no way I'm going to be playing this guy week 1 of the preseason. Absolutely no way. And I thought that the back and forth between him and Dak, he's out of practice. He's got a shoulder strain. And then, McCarthy's like, hey, go get some treatment, man. Like, you don't got to be here. Go get some treatment. And Dak's like, I want to be out there. I want to be with the team. He's like, nah, bro, go get some treatment. Fuck it. Fuck this. Go get some treatment. Get your arm better so you can play. I mean, there's a little bit of friction between them, I think, but maybe not as much as I'm reading. I think I'm reading a little bit more, but I could, I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I just enjoy watching this because that just means football is closer. And again, they wanted to play the Steelers and lost 16-3, but let's just say this team is actually garbage. They have all the pieces really. They got Zeke, they got fucking what's his name, Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones. They got the best facilities in the NFL, I would assume, even though everybody's got great facilities. But I feel like also the pressure to play for the Dallas Cowboy fans too. That's got to be motivating you too, because again, we actually have a preseason this year, so we got fans watching, training camps and watching the preseason games. So it's gonna be, this is gonna be a big year. It's gonna be a big year, and not only just to see how Dallas, plays, but also how the storylines of the Hard Knocks, docu-series plan out, because we already got introduced to their first round pick, Micah Parsons. He's a linebacker playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he's very promising. And that you see his fight, how eager he is, how much he wants to play out there. And it's, again, you just want to see, how's this all going to fold out? What if he gets cut? I mean, that's pretty much a low, very, very, very low chance, but he could get cut. And it's also kind of funny because this year is the year that they kind of held back or walked back on the number restrictions on players. So Micah Parsons, who's a linebacker, is wearing number 11. I got to tell you, man, it's weird as fuck because, being a longtime fan of the NFL, I'm used to seeing linebackers and defensive ends wearing number 50 through 90s, 70s, 60s. Usually 50s and 90s is what I'm used to seeing them play or wear. So when I see a linebacker wearing 11, I got thrown off for a bit. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is weird. Nobody else. I thought that Zeke would have changed his number 2 from 21 to 2 or something like that. What was he in Ohio State? He wasn't 21, I think. He might have been I think it was maybe 15, I think. But I thought that he would change his number as well because, I don't know, just seeing Micah Parsons, a linebacker, wear number 11 was just boggling to me. I was like, whoa, I got to get used to this. And we got to remember, though, Dallas Cowboys are going to get 4 preseason games this year, along with the Steelers, because they played the Hall of Fame game. Everybody else is going to be getting 3, which for me is good because we started the season, we're going to get football faster and more of it. So, that's good for me, but also probably not good for the teams or the players. So, that's going to be cool to see, too. How are they going to, transition to that? How are they going to start by, saying, okay, we got to win, there's 17 games of the season, not 16 anymore. That's going to be another thing, too. They got to play another week, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to the new rules, the new schedule, my bad, the extra game, the less preseason game, and what they think about it. Maybe what if we start getting in Hard Knocks some players talking about I don't want to play another game. I don't want to play this. Come on, what are we doing here? We already play so much. And you got to remember, football is a violent sport. People go down week 1 and then they're done for the rest of the season. That's happened before. Big players. That has happened many, many times. And not just getting off the Hard Knocks, Dallas Cowboys. Saquon Barkley just got back from ACL tear. So what if he gets back in week 1, boom, he's dead. He's done. Not dead, sorry. Done for the rest of the season. He just got back. This is going to be another player that you want to look out for because he's been injury prone his first 3 years, I think. So, like, that's going to be kind of interesting to see how they, first of all, how the Giants handle him and how he's going to be able to come back from his injury and be, dominant as he used to be whenever he would play. Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be coming back too, OBJ. How's he going to do? I think Odell Beckham Jr. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be, back sooner than later. But I think that, there's always a chance, like, again, adding one extra game could fuck a lot of people over. Like, it just could. And I feel like the NFL has just got to be ready. Like, okay, well, what if we get like a big injury spike? Like, a lot of players are fucking down. What if our ratings dip because of no players? What's going to happen? You just got to be careful on what, like, you're sacrificing when you add another game. What you can be doing, like putting players in danger, or even coaches in danger too. Like, what could possibly happen with adding another game? That's going to be very interesting to see throughout the season. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm ready for football to start again. Again, Hard Knocks for me is like the turning point, and now we start the race to the actual the season, because it's here. It's happening. We're ready. I'm ready. I can't wait because look, man, as much as I enjoyed the COVID year last year, and for what that they could, put out with limited fans and to no fans, and, having games being played on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and, Fridays, having games played on pretty much every day of the week last season, I'm ready for it to be just back on Sundays and Thursdays, sometimes Saturdays maybe for later in the year, but I'm ready for this, man. I'm so excited. I think that when football starts, that it's fall. And that the new sports year is coming, right? Because you get football in September, the NBA comes back in October, baseball ends in October, so you kind of get like the birth of the new season, and then you put to bed the last season of sports. So, like, it's just another reason for me to get ready for all sports is when football comes back, because then you got basketball, then you got hockey, and then after that you get the springtime, and then you get baseball back. It's wonderful if you're a sports fan, and if you love football, it's great. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva, and I will see you guys next week.